Hey everyone and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I'm doing a flip through of Learning Language Arts through Literature, the green book, which is their 7th grade level. So with it you get the teacher guide, the student book, there are also the book studies in here. I do bind those separately just to make life easier. So in case you've ever been curious, this is the sequence for the different grade levels. So next after this is the grey book, and then for high school they've got world literature, American literature and British literature, and as far as I know you can do them in any order. Correct me if I'm wrong. So for example we could do the British literature in year 9 if we wanted to, as far as I know, but don't quote me on that just in case, but that's how I interpret it anyway. So they explained their process is an integrated language approach, so it has the benefits of all teaching methods. By working with pieces of literature, you focus on grammar, vocabulary, writing, reading, spelling, penmanship and thinking skills. Your student has the best advantage for learning skills in this effective and lasting manner. So in the upper levels, they don't obviously do penmanship, but in the younger levels, they did actually have handwriting pages that went along with it. They also do, as it said, thinking skills, which are really good because get some critical thinking in there or just get your brain working in a different way. Now, in this one, we have 3 literature units in addition for their book studies. So there's The Star of Light, The Mysterious Benedict Society, and Much Ado About Nothing. So we have, as we've done previously, changed up which books we do. So we are doing The Mysterious Benedict Society and Much Ado About Nothing. And then we've got a couple of different other options for our book studies this year, which I've mentioned about in my curriculum video, which I'll link, but we're not doing the first one. Okay, there are 36 lessons in this curriculum and it is a 1 through 5 day curriculum. So as you can see, it's broken up into their dictation lessons, which are all about the a particular novel. So in this case, we've got Black Beauty, The Borrowers, and so on, and all their literature practice and things. So their grammar, the vocabulary, and the spelling is all broken down from those literature passages. In this one, we also include poetry appreciation as well. We've got a short story unit. We've got obviously the book studies, a research unit as well. And throughout they have review and also built-in review and assessments. Okay, so let's start off with lesson 1. We'll probably look at 4 lessons throughout the year. So lesson 1 is a literature extract from Black Beauty. So we've got the passage here. So what they have to do is copy it from dictation. Now in previous levels it'll be a certain portion, and as they've got older it's now to the point where it's the whole thing. They have to proofread it afterwards and look for any spelling or punctuation errors, and they can use any misspelled words for their spelling, or they can use the following suggested list instead, or both, whichever you prefer to do. There's a spelling rule here, and then we're looking at a particular spelling rule exercise. In the teacher's pages, you will have all the answers on the side. So that's for day 1. For day 2, again, we're concentrating on some spelling, and we're also talking about some suffixes as well. And then we are on to a writing section where we're talking about what's necessary in a sentence. Then we are looking at finding certain things in a sentence, and again draw a vertical line between the complete subject and the predicate. So that's what we're doing for day 2. Also continuing on here. Then for day 3, we're going over grammar again. I can't speak today. Going over grammar again. So the first lesson's always a bit of review, just to make sure in case they haven't done this curriculum before. So they always give you the first few lessons some review. Then we're talking about personal pronouns, subjective, possessive and objective, first, second and third person. Day 4, we're doing some more grammar with being verbs. And then day 5, again, they're going to copy the passage from dictation. They're going to practice finding complete subject and complete predicates. And write some 5 sentences, again, concentrating on that. They're going to choose skills from the review section. And then there's a novel extract for them to do some narrating. So it's The Prince and the Pauper. So this is new, they didn't have this last year. So basically there is the story here, and then they are to narrate what they read. So they are to do it's a written narration. So read the passage and then write a narration or summary of what you read, providing as much detail as you remember. So that's definitely new. That was not there last year. And then it will say enrichment SAB, which is student activity book, and we'll look at the same week in the student pages. Okay, so this is what their student activity book looks like. So they've got a section here for them to write their passage in. There's their day 2 activities, and so on. Day 3 even. Day 4. Here's the narration passage that they need to read and then do a written narration on. And then here is a enrichment. So in this one, they're finding the possessive personal pronouns in the puzzle and circling them. Then we've got a review activity section. So again, they can complete the full thing, or you can do partial amount, depending if they had any problem or anything. It's up to you. And that's it for week 1. Okay, so now we'll look at lesson 12. So we've moved on to the borrowers. I used to love that. I love that book and that series when I was younger. Again, we are writing it from dictation. They're talking about some spelling rules. So the FF sound, as in G, maybe spelled a GH. We're talking about split quotations, more spelling tips and rules. We're talking about possessive pronouns, complete with the correct word. Basic building blocks of sentences, plurals, singular, possessive, etc. In the extract, they're having to underline transitional verbs. We are on to sentence diagramming, some thesaurus work, indirect objects, again, more sentence diagramming. Then they have to diagram the subject, verb, adjective, direct object and indirect object in the following sentences. Day 5, they are writing the passage again from dictation, and then they've got a passage here to read from the would-be goods for them to do their written narration on. Again, we've got some review activities for them to do, and then after this one there is an assessment for them to complete, which is from 10 to 12, and then from 13 to 15. Oops, I think I found that wrong. Yep, I have. So it's not, I was going to say it's unusual for them to be 2 assessments back to back. That's because I must have found it wrong. So yeah, it will be assessment 3, and then they'll move on to the next lesson. Okay, and here is lesson 12 in the student pages. So we have got the passage for dictation, the spelling sections, the grammar and sentence formation, sentence diagramming, and then the day 5 narration, written narration. There is some enrichment with this one, and the review activity section, and then their assessment 3 for lessons 10 through 12. And it looks like I didn't mess up in the student one and put the wrong page in. Okay, so let's look at the next lesson, which is their short story unit. So this is focusing all about, obviously, writing a short story. So it's different than the regular dictation lesson week. So we're talking about setting, mood, characters, dialogue, plot, climax, resolution, and so on. And then they're going to start writing their story. And then the next week continues with that same vein. And then they're obviously going to make their final copy, illustrate it if they want to, and then they've got a checklist to complete. And this is the student pages for the same lesson. There are examples from different stories. Their enrichment, which is find 4 of the words in the same category and 1 is not. And then more enrichment, and their assessment. Okay, we'll look at lesson 32. So we've moved on to our Shakespeare. So we've got a part of the play here. We're looking up definitions, reading, just discussing obviously the play, writing a narration, and then we have a Tales from Shakespeare story, which is quite lengthy, it would seem, but perfectly on grade level, so that's fine. Okay, then we've got the research unit, but we'll just have a look at the same lesson in the student book. Okay, so they have to write their narration of the emotional scene after they've read the particular section they're supposed to do. Really going to be really interesting to do. Like to do about nothing. It's not something that I actually did in school, so it's going to be a good one. We always did the typical Romeo and Juliet one. What to do about nothing, unscramble. They have all this line section, which I assume is for the narrations. And then the same story from Tales of Shakespeare. Okay, the final lessons are for their research unit. So we'll look at, so basically for the next 3 weeks, it's all about their research unit, it looks like. So choosing their topic, making notes, writing the first draft and so on. So we'll just flick through them because obviously they're all related, revising, and then doing their final draft on their research unit. And then obviously they've got their last assessment. Okay, and the student pages. So it goes through in more detail for them, all the different things they need to include in their report. And I just skipped the page, there we go. Then we've got the review and the assessment. So in the back, they always have really helpful things. So this is the back of the student book. So we've got prefixes, suffixes, roots, and so on that they can keep in here to refer to if they need to. And in the back of yours, the teacher guide, and there's also a personal spelling list section as well, which is always handy. In the back of the teacher guide, you have all the answers for their enrichments that they've done. Sorry, that's not even the teacher guide, hang on. You have all the answers for the enrichment as well, which is really helpful. Okay, so we'll just have a look at the book study. So this is Star of Light. This, again, we're not doing this one, but I'll show you anyway. Okay, so there are some notes here to say who the author's, the writer of the book is, the author, what level of readability it is, just some information about her, and then the summary of the book. We've got discussion questions and activities on a day-by-day basis. They have got a map activity. Again, reading chapter questions. Right, when they got a paper, or yeah, there's a paper to do if they were reading the book, and then they're going to write a book review. Okay, so let's have a look at the book study for the Mysterious Benedict Society. So again, we've got the author information over here, summary, we've got vocabulary, complete the sentence, reading, discussion questions, and what's this? Morse code. That'll be fun. More vocabulary. Complete with the correct word. More discussion questions. And then they've got a list of complete as many of the following activities as you have time for this week. So all these different ones they can choose from. And it says, is the first book in the series, so you could read the rest. So I did actually purchase the rest because I thought we might enjoy it. And then they have to write an essay. Okay, so that is a look inside Learning Language Arts Through Literature, the Green Book. If you've got any questions, leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.